Top 10 NBA small forwards of all time. At number 10, we have James Worthy. When you think of the Showtime Lakers, the first names that always come to mind are Magic and Kareem, but a name that should be brought up more is James Worthy. Pairing incredible speed with size, he was elite in transition and was exactly what the Lakers needed, winning 3 championships with them and always stepping up on the biggest stages, leading them in scoring for multiple playoff series and taking over especially as Kareem started to age. His greatest moment came in the 1988 finals, where he not only won the finals MVP, but also had arguably the greatest closeout game ever, putting up 36 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists in Game 7 to lead his team to victory and proving why he was called Big Game James. At number 9, we have Dominique Wilkins. One of the most athletic players of all time and arguably the greatest dunker in league history, there's a reason why Dominique Wilkins is nicknamed the human highlight film. While he may be most known for his iconic dunk contest battles with Michael Jordan, what can't be forgotten was that he was a legitimate star and an elite scorer with 10 straight seasons of 25 plus points per game, including 1 scoring title and 2 30-plus point per game seasons. Dominique was much more than just a flashy dunker, and his elite, consistent scoring production earns him a spot in the top 10. At number 8, we have Elgin Baylor. Before Elgin came into the league, the game was a lot more grounded, but with his elite jumping ability, he helped pioneer the high-flying style that many players after him adopted. His insane vertical jump allowed him to become one of the greatest rebounders ever. He's had multiple seasons averaging over 15 rebounds per game, which becomes even more insane when you realize he was only 6'5" and played in an era dominated by giants. On top of his elite rebounding ability, he was also one of the greatest scorers ever, putting up unreal statistics, such as the 1962 season where he averaged a ridiculous 38 points per game. Unfortunately for Elgin though, a championship is something that eluded him throughout his entire career, as what prevents him from being any higher on the list. At number 7, we have John Havlicek. John Havlicek was a star 6-man before the concept of a 6-man even existed. He was an all-around talent, with the ability to score from anywhere on the court, play make well, rebound at a great rate for his size, and defend at an elite level, being very willing to do all the dirty work. But the real reason he ranks above some other all-time greats on this list is because of the playoffs, where he experienced a historic amount of success, winning a ridiculous 8 championships throughout his career, more than all but 2 other players ever. And while you can say that Havlicek did play with Bill Russell, it must be pointed out that he did win 2 rings in the 70s without Bill, proving he could lead a team to a championship on his own, that he was just a straight up winner. At number 6, we have Scottie Pippen. Scottie may be most known for being the Robin to Jordan's Batman, but that shouldn't overshadow how elite he was as an individual talent. Pippen had a very unique all-around game, which wasn't common during his time. Defensively, he was arguably the best perimeter defender ever, while as a scorer, he was great in transition and as a slasher. But what stood out most was his playmaking skill at his size. He possessed the elite ability to set up his teammates, leading the Bulls in assists for both of their three-peats and being a key innovator for the point-forward movement. He may not have been their best player, but he was the glue guy that held everything together for the 90s Bulls, and it's safe to say they wouldn't have won 6 championships or anywhere close to that without him. Now before we move on with the list, if you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure to give a like and subscribe for more great NBA content. Now continuing on with the rankings, at number 5 we have Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has the least amount of games played on this list by a wide margin, but even with that disadvantage, he still accomplished enough to make the top 5. He may be the best perimeter defender of all time. For his skills, he's earned 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Along with his all-time defense, the reason Kawhi is this high on the list is because he's just a straight-up winner. With the highest winning percentage in NBA history, the Claw is a proven playoff performer with countless clutch performances throughout his career. He's won 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, but it's particularly his second one that cemented his status as an all-time great. In 2019, he led the Raptors to their first ever championship while putting up the 3rd most points all time in a single playoff run, one of the most impressive single season playoff showings ever. He's still playing currently, so I wouldn't count out the possibility of him climbing even higher on the list when it's all said and done. At number 4 we have Julius Erving. Dr. J is one of the most iconic and influential players in the history of the sport. With his athleticism, dunks, and above the rim play, he added a level of flashiness to the league that hadn't been seen before up to that point, and increased the popularity of the sport immensely. He spent some of his best years in the ABA and didn't join the NBA until he was 26. Even with that, he still played 11 great years and accomplished more than enough to earn a spot in the top 5, making the All-Star team every year of his career, winning an MVP, and helping lead the Sixers to the championship in 1983. If his ABA seasons were factored in, he realistically could have been even higher on this list. At number 3, we have Kevin Durant. Standing at 7 feet tall with the ability to move, handle, and shoot like a guard, there's a reason KD is in the conversation for the greatest scorer ever. But whether he's the greatest or not though, what can't be denied is that he's the most complete and talented scorer ever, as he's won 4 scoring titles and for his career averages over 27 points per game on nearly 50-40-90 splits. Everyone knows about KD's great scoring ability, but I think how well-rounded his game is something that isn't mentioned as much as it should be. Throughout his career, he's been a plus on the defensive end while even being elite at times and is a very underrated playmaker. With his lengthy size and elite skill set, he has an argument to be the greatest talent in league history. You pair that with his long list of accolades, it's no wonder why KD is in the top 3 and could potentially climb higher as he's still playing at an elite level. At number 2, we have Larry Bird. Larry Bird is one of the most important figures in league history, as he along with Magic Johnson essentially helped save the NBA in the 80s. But that isn't the reason why Bird's so high on this list. Bird is one of the greatest players in league history. He possessed an elite all-around game, being an all-time great shooter and scorer, a good rebounder, an elite playmaker, and a really good defender. Unfortunately, his career was cut short due to injuries, but that didn't stop him from collecting an insane list of accolades, including 3 straight MVPs, 3 championships, and 2 finals MVPs. There's a reason why he's called Larry Legend. And at number 1, we have LeBron James. No surprise here. LeBron James isn't only the greatest small forward ever, but also has a legitimate case to be the greatest player of all time regardless of position. And if you're watching this video, you already know about LeBron, so I don't think I've described his game much. Instead, I'll just read a list of some of his accolades. 18 All-Star teams, 18 All-NBA teams, 6 All-Defensive team, a scoring title, an assist title, 4 MVPs, 4 championships, 4 finals MVPs, and will be the leading scorer of all time. There is no debate, and it'll be a while, likely never, that someone will overtake LeBron at this spot. Subscribe for more videos and comment down below if you agree with the rankings.